Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who will well taught me this truth. Peace and salutations be to the Akim that's pushing this truth with all truth and sincerity. On the brother Yashar Gabar back to you again with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying to the elect. Try to make it quick, straight to the point, just doing some work at a link office, and everyone up in there just on the edge, man, bugging out, ready to crash out, for not receiving their monthly link, especially a black woman, and they're ready to fight. Even the old people up in there, checking on Medicaid and all type of shit, man. I was just thinking, like, man, hey, these things that, brothers been warning are you people about, especially you Israelites, because that's mainly who's in there. You Jakes, the black woman, single black woman with kids, no man in the house, and just living off that link card, man, counting on it, and when they snatch it from you, they ready to crash out. And I can only imagine, all right, when these things really be taken away. When Esau Edom, really take these benefits away, man. All right? And you people are going to crash out, man, because hey, this is what you depend on. You put your trust in Esau Edom, in his system. And that's how he wanted it, But let's bring out, a few scriptures, all right? Because, hey, these are the things, all right, we've been warning you people about. So, starting off with Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16. And it reads, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Yeah, so redeeming the times, because the days are evil. Evil going to bad times. All right, we living in that, we living in a bad time, man. People are on the edge. People are ready to crash out. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, man. But hey, these are the things we've been warning you about. Not putting your trust in Esau Edom and his system. Not trusting in this shit, man. Because all this shit is going to fail you at the end of the day. All right, it's going to fail you. All right, and he wanted like that. So you could depend on him. So yeah, you're supposed to be, putting your trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Now let's move on. Try to make this quick. Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33. It says, "And when lo, this come to pass, lo it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet been among them." Yeah. So when it come, man, all the things that brothers been speaking on. All right, the prophecy, all hell breaking loose, when shit hit the fan, and then you people gonna know that a prophet was among you. When all this shit fail you, you're gonna realize, hey, that's what brothers been telling me. All right, they said, all right, this day was gonna come. They said, we was gonna lose jobs. The kids is gonna starve. We gonna starve. All right. You and your family, you're going to starve, man. And Esau Edom is going to make it to that point. So you have to depend on him. Yeah, no link card, no benefits, getting kicked out your house. You're going to go through it, man. But then, all right, you're going to know that a prophet was among you. Because, hey, when we speak these things, hey, don't nobody listen, They don't take heed. Because it's all the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They don't take heed to what brothers are saying, man. So it's going to catch them by surprise. But when they do, all right, they're going to know. It's like, how they show in the movies when people facing death, then their life start flashing, things what they did in life. But the same thing is going to happen, man. You know, it's going to bring you to remembrance. All right, what brothers was saying. All right. Now, what else we have? The the book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 10. It says, "These things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came the flood." Matter of fact, let's go up. Let's get verse 9. It says, "Death and bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came the flood." Yeah, so all these things are created for the wicked, you know? And we know these things are going to come, but if we trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, it's going to be with us, and make a way for us to escape, all right, these things to come. But for the things to come, it's created for the wicked, you unbelievers, you bitter ass, baby mamas, black women, enemy, hey, it's created for their ass, man. And hey, the famine, tribulation, man, all right, a time of trouble, all these things are created for the wicked, So don't be surprised, when these things pop off. And hey, you see these people, bugging out, man, because, just seeing what I saw earlier today, hey, you people ain't going to make it, Hey, you people going to give in to that MOTB, all right, that C-HIP, man, all right, because you don't have no faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You don't trust in the Lord. Now let's see what else. End it off with this, because it ain't going to get right, and this is why you people are mourning, all right? Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn." Yeah, and this is the wicked ruling, Esau Edom is in rulership. Blame him, all right? You have to live on a link card. You're working hard, but it still ain't enough. You're paying for water, you're paying for all these things. You got 10 different bills with one check. It's hard for you to survive here, in Babylon. You can't live on your own. It's hard for even 2-3 people staying together. Blame Esau Edom, because the wicked is in rulership. All right, so now, yeah, you seeing people mourn, all right, because the wicked is ruling. All right, yeah, you people are mourning, man, but it ain't going to be like that, all right, in the kingdom, and then this is why, you're supposed to be, seeking the kingdom, stir up your treasures in heaven, all right, patiently waiting, all right, for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, because that's the only way, then, all right, it's going to be rejoice for the Israelites, all right, but being here, oh man, hey, you ain't seen nothing, a time like no other is to come, man, so hey, that's why you can't get comfortable here in Babylon, man. All this shit is going to fail you. Your job, your careers you've been working on, you've been going to school for years trying to build this, career up, trying to start this business, this place is through, So, with that being said, man, hey, put your trust in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because hey, this place is going to fail you, man, all right, no matter what, no matter what you do, no matter what you, put your all into here, what you shouldn't be, all right, trying to put your all into none of this shit that's here, man, all right, so put your all into Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, all right, so I'm ending it off with that, Lord willing. All right, this video was edifying unto Yahweh give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash, and give double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, say Shalom.